Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blackwell podcast, where we love Life is Strange more than Frank loves his daily dose of beans. And today this is the introductory episode, so let's introduce the co-hosts. So we have Joey and Julia. So why don't you say hello, guys?
Hi,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Yeah, so we made this podcast to pretty much show our appreciation of the game Life is Strange. And we have to pretty much warn everybody now that there's going to be spoilers. There's just going to be a ton of spoilers from like episode 4 and 1, like every episode, because
Right.
we have like a ton to talk about game-wise.
Right. These episodes will not be following the episode release of the game. So, being that this is episode 1, we'll still be talking about, just to reiterate, episode 4, 3, 2, and 1 stuff. So, if you haven't played any of those episodes, first of all, do so. And secondly, you might want to hold off listening to us until you have.
That is a great idea. So, might as well just start introducing ourselves then. So, Julia, why wouldn't you go first?
Okay, I'm gonna go first. First, hi everybody. It's nice talking to you. My name's Julia. I'm from Austria. I'm 20 years old and I'm a student in economics. In my free time, I like to do theater. I'm having a play on right now. I'm gonna play tomorrow again. So I'm kind of nervous about that too. And prefer, I like to game a lot, but I prefer story-based gaming the most. Like, of course, Life is Strange, then Heavy Rain, Beyond the Souls, Fahrenheit, all these titles up together. And also, I have a dog. I just found it important to know. So, yeah, that was it about me.
Okay, yeah. It's great that you've got, the production on at the moment. And we hope that, you do well with that.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, Joey.
Went great last week.
Oh, yeah.
We worked this week.
You're gonna kill it, don't worry.
That's great to hear.
Okay, Joey, you're up.
So my name is Joey. I am from North Carolina in the United States. I am 27 years old, and I guess if I had to describe myself as anything, it would be a gamer. I was in the Army for 6 years. Currently, I work as an electrical technician with aspirations to get into computer programming in the near future. Life is Strange, I'd probably have to say, is my favorite game, at least for now. I also am quite fond of The Last of Us. And also, I just kind of play a lot of games ranging from Counter-Strike to Animal Crossing. And I'm really excited to be a part of this podcast. I'm really excited to talk about this game that I love so much.
Yeah, that is one range of games from Animal Crossing to frickin' Counter-Strike.
I think you've covered everything with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So I guess it's my turn to introduce myself. So,
Yes.
I am Jamie. I'm an 18-year-old student from the UK, and this may sound like a bit of a pretentious moment, but basically the podcast, I kind of came up with the idea of the podcast because I kind of did a post on Reddit after playing episode 4 and feeling all of the emotions that I had to like get a team together to do it, because if no one would really listen to one person's opinion, because there'll be different factors that people will disagree with. So I thought it'd be best to get two people roughly who are as passionate as a game as I am, and just have fun and just talk about a game that is just so close to our hearts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, and now probably one of the most important questions is, how did each of us find out about Life is Strange?
Should I go first again?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I found out about it, I think, a day after its release of episode 1. Because I talked to my boyfriend and he said, "Hey, have you heard about this game called Life is Strange?" And I'm reading about it everywhere. And he started playing it, and I was like, "Nah, I don't want to. I'm not in the mood right now to watch it, but I'm going to watch TV or something else." And then a couple of hours later, I saw on YouTube PewDiePie playing it. And yes, I'm one of those PewDiePie watchers. And I thought, oh my god, it's the second time this day I'm crossing this game, so I'm gonna watch it. And I loved it from, I think, the first 5 minutes on. It just was, I loved the setting, I loved just the general feeling to it. And yeah, then I got, about 2 months later, shortly after episode 2, I got my own gaming PC, and I started playing it for myself, and loved it even more.
Yeah, it does that to you. Joey, what about you?
So I noticed it. I saw it on Steam when it first came out back in January, and I kind of put it on my watch list. It looked really interesting, I thought, but I guess it wasn't something that I was like, okay, let me dive right into this. Also, I can't say that I'm the hugest fan. I don't have anything against them, but I can't say I'm the hugest fan of Square Enix, and I was thinking that they had actually made the game instead of just produced it. So that was also kind of a bit of a deterrent for me. Not much of one, but then it went on the Steam Summer Sale, and I was like, okay, this is a good time to buy it. And it made me wholly regret not buying it back in January, because it was amazing. Definitely, I like photography. I dabbled in it a bit myself, and I also like sci-fi, and I love story and character-driven games, and so it has it all. And this was about a week before episode 4 came out, and I played through the first 3 episodes in like probably one sitting. Yeah. And then lost my mind for that week waiting for episode 4.
And when episode
and
4
have loved it ever since.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody did.
Yeah, I cried so much.
Yeah.
I think everybody has.
And if they didn't, why not? You need to probably get
Yeah.
checked.
What is wrong with you?
Sadist. Okay, so yeah. So before Life is Strange, I actually played the Telltale's Walking Dead, and that was probably the only game to make me cry at that point because of the ending of season 1. I said to one of my friends, hey, this game's really good. Do you know any games like it? And they said, I seen a trailer for a game that came out recently called Life is Strange. You should probably download the demo. Played the demo. I really loved it. And even though it was only quite short, like it only just got up to the bathroom when you pull the fire alarm. And I basically just saved my money just to get all the other episodes and just had to wait patiently every single month, and it was just terrible.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Okay.
And now we
Yeah,
can
I guess
argue if it's better to play it from the beginning on and have that refreshing just interest in what's going to happen now, or if it's better to just explore it like Joey near the end and have it all at once.
See, all the people who will get it when episode 5 comes out, they're going to be the lucky ones because they'll just, marathon it just one after another, whilst people just, like, early on just had to wait and wait and wait, and it was just the worst.
Yeah, but I also think it's what also gives you the connection to the game, because it's over such a long time span. I mean, since episode 1 came out, it's been, I think, 7 months.
Yeah.
And if you play it all at once, it's just so you can basically play through it in one sitting if you're dedicated, really. But if you start from the beginning, you have really 7 months where it's probably constantly in the back of your head somewhere, and you get more of a connection to it, I think. At least that's my point of view here.
Yeah, that is pretty much true. Plus, they've been working on the game since 2013, if I remember correctly, because
Yeah.
they had the original title like of What If, and then they announced it last year. But then, they released episode 1 in January, and it like all the reviews I've seen for it has been positive, and that's great. I mean,
Totally. Yeah.
because Joey and I were talking, I think it was yesterday, and we were talking about the review on Steam, and it was overwhelmingly positive. So I guess people
Right.
get the impact of the game as well as, actually enjoying the experience.
Right. And even though I'm on, I guess, the other end of the argument, I would still have to agree that I think it would have been better to play it episodically instead of marathoning through it. Mainly because the community is so great for it.
Mhm.
It's seriously like one of the best communities that I've come across for relating to a video game, and so I think it would have been, really fun had I been there. Maybe it's the grass is always greener type thing, but I think it would have been fun to kind of theorize, what's going to happen in episode 2. Okay, episode 2 just happened. What happens in 3, etc. And also, I think too, when I picked it up and went through the first 3 episodes, I always like to explore around in games, but then there's also that sense of story, and you're just like, man, like this narrative is so intense. I need to just plow through it. So I think I kind of missed out on being able to go back and play through play through episodes, trying to pick up what I missed. Trying to see if there's anything I didn't catch the first go around, and then use that to kind of theorize what's going to happen in the next episode. I've gotten plenty of time to do that with 5, but yeah, so I think I would actually agree that it would be better to play it episodically.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their reasons, for why they want to play it the way they do, so you can't really blame them if they have a different opinion. Okay,
Sure.
yeah. So, since we've done the introduction now, I think it's best that we move on to the matter of hand and talk about characters and who our favorites are. So, all of us can pretty much agree that Mr. Jefferson is not on the list.
Yeah.
That's hopefully true.
Yeah, hopefully. And if you do like Mr. Jefferson, good for you, but clearly you did not feel the same way that we did during that ending of episode 4. So, who would like to start talking about their favorite characters?
I think I'm
Why
gonna
don't you tell us yours?
Sean go first again.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I thought about that beforehand, and I really have to say it was a hard choice because everyone is really interesting, and everyone has their so many facets to their personality, and just over the different episodes you discover so many things about the characters and see that they aren't what they're supposed to be in episode 1, and because in episode 1 we have the more or less obvious antagonists David and Nathan, and then later on you discover different things that maybe they were pressured into something, or that they had just the other people's best interests in mind, like David probably had. And but I concluded that I liked Chloe the most if I really had to pick one, mostly because if you look at the ending of episode 3 and beginning of episode 4, when you are in different timelines, it's just so interesting to see these two different Chloes. They're really just opposites of each other. And to think that these two people are the same person is just incredibly weird, and it makes you think about why people are the way they are, and makes you kind of also feel sorry for them a little bit, because the original Chloe, the blue-haired Chloe, is just the way because she's probably just extremely sad and probably also feels alone, left alone because of her father and everything. And she seems a lot happier in the alternative timeline. But I mean, even though she wants you to, I mean, I can say we did the spoil check.
Yeah, we can say it.
She wanted to end her life. It's a lot more peaceful than the original Chloe, and that's just extremely interesting. And even though I've heard a lot of people say that they find Chloe, I mean the blue-haired Chloe in this case, extremely annoying and she's just so unreasonable and irresponsible, but I think you have to be in her situation. I mean, she really had a hard life. It's not easy to lose your father when you're 13 years old, I think she was, and then have a guy just come into your life and who you really don't get along with, and who lives at your home, and
as well as
it's
Max
just
leaving as well.
Yeah,
Right.
of course that too. She's just as she said in the game, she's just left alone by everybody, and I can honestly I can kind of relate to her because I also have a stepfather who's a bit complicated, but it's just hard for her probably that he lives at her home and she has no place to go to, no real home that she can feel comfortable at, and of course that plays with you a lot with the personality. So she has her reasons why she's the way she is. But I mean, of course, sometimes it's just you're playing thinking, oh my god, what are you doing? Why are you walking on the tracks? You just nearly died. But I mean, as I said, if you hold to account what she's been through, it's just she's all kind of relatable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's doing surprisingly well considering. Well, yeah,
Right.
I can say it right because we gave the spoilers.
Yeah.
Considering
Yeah.
what happened in the junkyard in episode 4 before the Vortex Club party, she took it surprisingly well as soon as they pulled up to the Vortex Club.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though she just pretty much wanted to shoot Nathan.
Yeah, but I think she took it that bad that she just suppressed it. That she was like, "Dang it, just do it. I'm done with everything, and I just want to end this thing."
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you get the sense that I guess it's just like culmination of all the emotions, and it's just one of those things. Like, essentially, even though Max is back, you get the sense that she was a bit closer to Rachel than, and you know, it could be just the circumstances given when Rachel appeared in her life, but losing that on top of everything that's happened to her and all that, like, I definitely empathize with her. And you know, I'm not saying that going off and shooting Nathan would have been the right thing to do, but I guess I see where she's coming from in that sense, because putting myself in her shoes, you know, if I had found that too, caution would be thrown to the wind, and I would not really care about the consequences. And I think she's one of the realest characters in any video game as far as like just emotion. like being emotionally driven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Joey, who would you say your favorite character is?
Ah, man, I have been thinking so hard about this all day and for the past forever since I started playing this game. Um, I think I relate a lot to Chloe,
Hmm.
um, just because I went through, you know, stepfather issues, was a troubled youth, and kind of walked down similar path as her. So I think relatability, I would have to agree with Julia. She would probably be my favorite character, but it is extremely difficult to say with absolute certainty. I guess I have my holy trinity of Kate, Max, and Chloe, and it kind of flops around of who I like the most, just depending on what I'm thinking about at the time. Um, Chloe, for reasons that I just stated, just I can relate to her. I also feel like, and if we do an episode on Psyche, I'll touch about this a little bit more. But dealing with these like serious, just mental issues that people face. There's an extreme stigma around it, especially here in the United States, and it's something that's like extremely frustrating to me because it's not giving people the proper outlets that they need. It's not giving people the chance because they're too afraid of what's going to happen if they admit to having these issues. And I feel like having these emotions, having these conditions represented in a game and having it represented in a real way is it's just extremely gratifying. And for that reason, I think Chloe is. I guess if I had to pick, it would be Chloe. Because she demonstrates very well just the kind of slump that you can get into when you are dealing with these just extreme. Your dad dies, your friend leaves, your best friend leaves, your dad dies. You get this new stepfather who, you don't really understand. He doesn't understand you in the least. Completely different world that he's coming from, and you have all this wrapped up in a 19-year-old that is Chloe, and she deals with it in such a real way. I'm not saying that it's good, and I'm not saying that it's bad, but I'm saying that it's real. And also, she's pretty kick. She's awesome.
As well as the fact that one of her only friends was missing for like 6 months before the game actually begins. That's probably a big factor of that too. Because when she reacted to the picture of Rachel in the first episode, that kind of gave me a feel of how real their relationship was before, Max came back to Arcadia Bay.
Right. So I guess I'll quickly touch on the other two of my holy trinity. So Max, I feel I can relate to her some too. I mean, she's kind of goofy and awkward, and I went through that when I was a teenager, and of course, I wasn't a teenage girl, but it's still like very, very relatable, and she's really, at least my canonical Max, I guess, if you will, is very kind-hearted, and she's very snoopy, and she loves to snoop around, and almost to a fault, and have always been that way as well. And her puns are on point. I love me some terrible puns, and
yes, perfect.
And then so Kate is just a all around sweetheart, and what she has had to go through in that, leading to her depression and her attempted suicide, or her suicide depending on how you played it, but attempted in my case. That is just like, man, like, first of all, I wish I had a little sister, and second of all, I wish that little sister was Kate. Like, I've been down that road, I've walked that path, not to get too personal, but I've walked that path, and it's just like, you just want to hug Kate and just tell her, you're loved, you're a precious little thing. Please see your worth. Please see your worth. And also, she drew Hot Dog Man, so
Yeah. She is responsible for the meme in the fandom. So,
But what about you, Jim?
yeah, it's pretty much the whole that trinity as well. But there is actually one character who I am kind of starting to like. But the thing is, I don't really know why, which is a bit weird. And it's
Who is it?
I'm trying to remember. I'm looking on the list to see who it was, and it's Warren. I totally forgot his name.
You forgot Warren's name?
I feel so bad. Yeah. Well, I pretty much like Chloe for the reasons that we gave. And, that she's been going through a lot. We actually kind of relate to her in some ways or another. And when Chloe tries to be funny, I actually kind of laugh despite everything that's going on within the game, that they're trying to pretty much stop the tornado, find Rachel and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Max is she's just like the shy person who kind of sits in the back of the room, keeps themselves, but throughout the game you can actually see her gain confidence, which is really interesting for Dot to do. Because like, she stands up for either David or Chloe in episode 3, I believe. And she just takes matters into her own hands when she feels it's necessary. Because
Right.
like, the first time I actually seen her kind of gain confidence was in episode 1, when you either have the option to take a picture of David and Kate or just intervene, and I just intervene because Kate is just too sweet to get that that treatment from David. But it's kind of understandable why David's like that, because he is what's the word, a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of gets paranoid. That's why he kind of has the he's trying to get the petition for the surveillance cameras. And Kate is she's just so sweet. I mean, like, we can pretty much say that in episode 4, if you save Kate, that is probably the sweetest scene that I've ever played in a video game. When you go see her in the hospital.
It's so nice to see her.
It was a nice change from just all drama that's just going on completely.
Yeah.
And
then sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, that scene is amazing, and I'm really glad Don't Nod added that in, because my understanding is that they weren't originally intending to, but because of that scene, you also get, well, first of all, you get to see Kate happy again, and secondly, you also kind of see the humanity in Chloe as well.
Yeah.
And she apologizes. If you take the phone call, she apologizes for just being a jerk about it, and again, it makes these characters so human and so real.
Yeah. And And like with Warren, I mainly relate to him because he's just a geek, pretty much,
Mhm.
with all the references and the emails that he sends to Chloe, and you kind of have to feel sorry for him, you know,
Yeah, in a
um,
way.
in
Yeah.
a way because he's trying to get Max's attention, and Max, is she knows pretty much knows about it, but she's just unsure about it. I
Right.
I believe, and yeah, like um, seeing Warren beat up Nathan in episode 4, it was a little bit out of character for him, I guess.
Mhm.
If you continue just to beat Nathan, but I kind of did that because I don't like Nathan whatsoever. So like I was rooting for Warren, like, go, yeah, do it, man, got this. Pretty much sums up the list. So, do you think we should talk about this segment, Everyday Heroes?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, Everyday Heroes is a segment that we're going to bring in every week, where the three of us choose a um some product like fan made product like cosplay, art, and maybe video if we feel brave enough, I guess. In future episodes. And and we all choose one, and we pretty much mention why we like it. So yeah, Julie, would you like to go first on this one?
Yeah, I chose a picture by her name on Tumblr is Sieglindis. I hope I'm pronouncing this the way she intended it. It's a picture of Chloe. It's wonderful. It's just in black and white, and I just love it how it's just so pure. You can see her worries in her eyes, and it's really great. And she sent it to us, and she has a lot on her Tumblr page. If you want to if you want to visit it, it's siglindis.tumblr.com. And she has a lot of different stuff. She also, besides Life is Strange, she has also different things. But from I think most of the characters, she has a lot of pictures, and they're just all wonderful too. I recommend you go check them out or and favorite them or whatever you do in Tumblr. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it is a
Yeah,
great drawing. Right, what were you saying?
yeah, it really is. Her work is great. I do want to throw this in about the segment real quick, and then we'll get back to our picks. So the idea for this is to keep in the spirit of the everyday heroes in the game is for submissions. So we encourage people to actually submit their fan art to us, and we pick from that, because there's a lot of great fan art out there, but I feel like it's more, I guess, more of a contest, if you will, if people are actually like engaging. So that's kind of the whole idea behind it, and I'll add this as well. The website will be up and launched when this episode comes out, and on there will be a section for the winners and a section for people who have submitted but maybe didn't get chosen. Um, so
Everybody's
of
vote
course,
will be on the website.
right, everybody that submits to us will be featured on the website. Um, of course, there'll be 3 winners every week, and that will be on the titular winners page. And the submissions will be there for anybody who wants to see what was submitted. And so please submit your photos.
Yeah, and we will under like next to each image we will credit them, like link them to like the Tumblr, their DeviantArt, and all that stuff. So everyone gets credit for what they do. And
Right, absolutely.
if we do, and if you submit your art, you pretty much agree that we are allowed to mention this on the podcast. So yeah, that's pretty much the everyday heroes. So Joey, what have you chosen this week?
I chose a picture by, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, user Bisparulz. That is Bisparulz. And he is from Brazil, I believe. He has a DeviantArt page, which will be linked, and he goes by Tumblr on the same name. And I chose his fan art entitled Happy Kate, which is probably the most adorable, like just the cutest fan art if not just the cutest picture I've seen ever on the internet. And yeah, I think that going back to kind of what we were talking about with the episode 4 scene of Kate in the hospital and having how that was such a nice thing to have in there, this picture definitely captures that emotion extremely well. And it's got everything that you could ever ask for. It's got Hot Dog Man, it's got Happy Kate and Happy Max, it's got Alice, and it's got Happy Clouds.
Balloons. Everybody
balloons.
loves balloons.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
it is beautifully done.
It is. And thank you to him for letting us feature that on here.
Yeah.
And what about you, Jamie?
Okay, so kind of changing it up a bit. Mine's actually a cosplay from Instagram. We just suck at pronouncing everything. It's like Yayo Price, and she takes pictures of her of herself in like a Chloe Price cosplay, and I think it's pretty well done. Like, I honestly cannot see a fault with it. She's Turkish, so like her English isn't that great, but I was talking to her and she is super nice. So she's really sweet, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, super humble as well. And
she did
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, even though the tattoo is it's edited, she's pretty much got every clothing down to a T.
Okay, so that was what I rudely interrupted you with. So the tattoo is...
It's edited, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious as to how she did that.
Yeah, still, the editing skills are pretty top notch on that image.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't have seen it if I didn't look closer. But now, even if you mention it now, if you don't see it on the first view of it, it's really greatly done.
Yeah, and she even has the necklace, and her hair is just, jeez. She's pretty much what I imagine Chloe Price to look like if she actually existed. Because I honestly haven't really seen like a super accurate cosplay of Chloe, and I honestly think that's the one that I've seen that sticks out in mind. So that's why I kind of chose it for this week.
It's really well done.
So
yeah, congratulations to this week's winners. And please check them out, follow them,
show them love.
Show them love, because they did an excellent job. And again, we encourage you to submit your fan art, whether it be cosplay or digital work that you've done or drawings that you've done, or even covers that you've done of some of the songs from the games.
Mm-hmm.
You can send it to us at blackwellpodcast@hotmail.com, and then you can also tweet it to us at Blackwell Podcast, and that is without the O in podcast, so PDcast.
And yeah, I think it's time for us to pretty much wrap up here. So yeah. So currently, for the next episode, we should pretty much talk about. Well, we're uncertain on what we're gonna talk about in episode 2 because we're trying to work something out at the moment, and hopefully, if everything goes smoothly, you guys will pretty much be in for a treat next week. Am I right, guys?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome
Yeah, hopefully. Anyway.
if it happens.
So yeah.
We do have a plan B, so don't worry if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But
We'll let you know closer to the time.
right.
And yeah, that's it pretty much. So if you want to contact us, I'll put the details on how to contact us in the credits after this episode, or like Joey said, via our email or Twitter, where you submit your Everyday Heroes missions. And do you think we should mention the website address now, since this will probably be up by the time it's up?
Yes. So it is blackwellpodcast.wordpress.com, and I am working on getting us a domain and all that, so that will hopefully come sometime in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Also, we really hope that we're going to stream the next episode as well, so everyone can pretty much interact with us whilst we pretty much talk about Life is Strange. Because it would be, really nice for all of you just to join in. Instead of all of us just pre-recording the episodes and just talking about it.
Yeah, it would definitely be more interesting to have on-point input and have a live discussion with everybody, pretty much.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it then. So we got thank you everybody for tuning in for this week's episode of the Blackwell podcast, and we really hope that you'll stick with us for the future episodes.
Definitely. Stick around.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Alright, everybody. So, yeah. We will see you next week. Keep on rocking. Keep on moshing. Shaka bros.
Keep
Thanks
on
for
moshing.
listening.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.